Is an MCA debt settlement the best option for you? And what do you have looking forward to finally getting rid of these soul-sucking merchant cash advances, tying up your business's available cash flow? Your current cash flow is restricted due to all of the merchant cash advance and other business and even personal debt. You can't get a new loan because of this. To pay off all your positions or one of them, we have to work our way there to do it. If you're looking at facing a bankruptcy or a default, and then getting into a default with the past judgment in place that you want to avoid, or you've already defaulted and you're seeking help. If your personal bills are mounting, and due to that, you can't take on a salary, and it just hurts day in and day out. Just the thought, waking up to this every morning, feeling groggy, the first thought are these merchant cash advances and your overall total debt. It's consuming you every day from living your best life, not only in your business, but who you are as a person, the joy, the happiness, the feeling of excitement that you'd like to have again, spending more time with your family and feeling like you don't have any stress or very less stress, taking that vacation you wanted without having to check up on your business to see how it's performing, being on your phone, on the emails, texts, always checking in. Instead, take a breath and be back to yourself. And so if you want the very best, then please keep listening into this video. Before I get into the details, and I'll also get into the share screen to show you the process, I'll leave this information down below in the description for you to learn more and to get started. My name is Michael with Viral Funding Solutions. I've been a business funding expert, a business loan broker expert, as well as pre-underwriter slash underwriter for many years. I've helped out a lot of people get merchant cash advances, hybrid cash advances, but in the best strategic way possible. Never been pushy, never aggressive. I'm not one of those other traditional people that you might have come across that led you in the wrong direction. They overpromised and underdelivered. I'm not like that. I'm more of the introverted, very analytical, cerebral type, not a talker. And I want you to know you are in the best hands. Finally, once and for all, you have somebody in your corner, kind of like Rocky Balboa going into the ring. You come back after a round, and I have the towel over your forehead, and I'm giving you pointers what to do to get back in and much more. And I'll take care of you. Don't worry. I'm very loyal, integrity galore. My family will say I'm very humble, very respectful, and I want you to win in many more ways than just your business, but as a person in your health, in your relationships, in your wisdom, in your wealth. So before I get into the share screen, a debt settlement company. These are helpful for helping you settle for less than what you owe. And the idea of it is with the promise that you will then pay the settlement in full. There are different ways of doing this on the consumer business side, you see, but you might often hear how you'll stop payments to your creditors, lenders, and put that money into a savings account. And that's what we use to disperse to make the payments and help you out in your recovery. And there's more fine details to a debt settlement overall. Those can work. Sometimes they have an impact on your credit score. And then you might be left with more to owe. So that's not always the best option. If it's the only one and it's the one that makes most sense, then okay. And if you're in so much hurt, if you're not current on your payment or payments, or if you are, you've tried to lower your payments with your merchant cash advance providers or provider, or if you haven't, not that you have to, but you want more available cash flow to invest this, to have more free operational financial investment cash flow. You're looking at inventory coming up, equipment, contracts, buildings, materials, and supplies. There's so much more that you can apply having this available cash flow. And what you would want to have are the experts behind this. And I have that, and there's a team behind it as well. And again, I'll leave more information down below. But the opposite, and what I recommend to do, is very likely a debt restructuring. A merchant cash advance debt restructuring is the helping of lowering your current overall total monthly obligation and payments by reducing that 50 to 75% of your payments on average, 40 to 75, 50 to 75 plus. And having an expert team behind this who has done this over and over, very energy and time efficient, a specialty law firm, an attorney led debt restructuring team that understands you and your needs, getting a custom tailored plan to meet your needs and what is very best suited. Having the payment analyst go over things with you, our principal go over things, the payment analyst, having a structured, tailored plan, the contract that is right there written for you, that is the very, very best outcome to help you stabilize your business instead of going into bankruptcy or reorganization of assets, dissolving. And then there are other companies you have to be careful of because they can be doing unlawful practices. And one of those is just calling, cold calling them. And people are on the do not call list. You do not want to associate yourself with that or these other companies that will cause you to go into a default. They might not tell you that from the beginning, especially a lot of debt relief, debt consolidation companies. You have to be careful. But a merchant cash advance debt restructuring or a settlement is the way to go. And so I'm going to get into the share screen. But again, remember down below in the description, there will be more information on this. This will likely be the page you get to in the very first link. And if it isn't, and if it's in a different format or it takes you to the page directly, then you'll see that. But here it says, attention MCA debt business owner. Check out this free video presentation on an MCA debt restructuring plan to reduce costs by up to 75% without any upfront costs or any more new MCAs. And before I go any further, if you've been shopping around, be very careful about who you choose. I'm not going to give out any names, but I'll speak to the behavior like I did earlier. A lot of them are not doing the right practices. They can charge you an upfront cost and fees associated, and you don't need any of that. It's not the way to do it. They're breaking things. They're not structuring and organizing your debt correctly. They don't have the best team behind this who diligently looks over your file and comes up with the right strategy. Not everyone are created equal. So make sure you get the very best. And again, down below, you'll see this and or a different format, and you can get started. There'll be a form that you can fill out. Click here to see the free presentation. There is no opt-in required. What you'll see inside of this free presentation, precise and tailor-made plan, up to 75% lowered, proper efficiency and effectiveness. Click the button above to get started. So I'll click here. And the page could look like this. If you're on mobile, it could look different. Maybe you have a different layout over time, but I'll have an individual video, if still there, you can watch that I show you on screen. This merchant cash advance debt relief with debt restructuring way and why that's the best way. And like I said, if your available cash flow is restricted and you don't have enough debt service coverage ratio, not enough cash flow, not enough profitability, it's going to be harder to try to get these bank loans, these bank lines of credit, these SBA loans. We can work our way there. We can work on credit to get to that if you're not there yet. We can work on fulfilling this and then getting you there. A lot of people want a new loan and they can't. Even if you could get it, you still have these cash advances, and will they be able to clear off that on the books, consolidate underneath one? Can you meet those obligations? And it's not always that simple to do that. So it's better to lower your payments so you can better manage your repayability, your terms, your rates. And that's the way to do it. And I can cover more information with you over time too, and in an email too, very simple and effective communication with you. And you'll see it. I'm very professional, very punctual and disciplined. I've been an entrepreneur for many years and I run my own businesses. With this one, I'm in the finance space, funding space, debt management, debt restructuring, settlement, and with the team, many more areas with credit, helping people there. I have in the online business, I've shared with people CRMs, tools, courses, things that they can use, even helping them start their own business online. In the health space, that's where I started. And then I have in the digital marketing agency lead generation. So I am level with you when it comes to understanding the numbers and making sure that everything is sound, business is running appropriately. And I'm an operator at heart, math system oriented type of person, talk less, I do more. Updated for 2024. And if you watch this in 2025 or any other year, it'll be updated to that. See if you qualify for the number one business debt restructuring businesses love. Click play to watch the video from an expert and read under carefully. So you'll hear from me in this video and I'll go over it on screen. And in fact, I also give you the document that you can see in the readable version. So I'll flip over to that here in a moment. And if that's not there, that's fine. I can share it with you over time. But it might look something like this. Debt restructuring option, note, please bookmark, save this document as well as the page before this so you can refer to it now and in the future. This will be a tremendously valuable resource and things others don't share with you. Remember, you're getting a dedicated expert and person as well as the very best team with a custom tailored plan to your needs. By far, and I vetted what's out there, and I know this process is very well done. I've done it over and over with people, have helped save them a lot, help them steer away finally from MCAs. And if you do end up getting another one in time, was it appropriate to do? And be very cautious of it. A lot of the times you get into these not knowing how to fully use them, but you just needed it because you needed to make payroll. You needed to save your lease, a building. You needed to save that equipment. You needed to get a new tire, and then you fall behind on payments. You had already 2 to 3 advances. You have over 100,000, over 200,000 now mounting, or anything underneath that. And I'll go over some of the details here. But make sure you pick this up, or I'll share it with you in time, and I'll try to come back to that document. No minimum FICO score is needed. This is not a loan, just so you know that. You're not getting a new loan to pay off the advances. That's consolidation. And if you can't meet that yet, or like I said, even if you can, it doesn't make sense to. You don't have enough available cash flow. Will you have enough uh, injection, liquidity, cash on hand, and in the banks? That's what a lot of these bank term loan, bank lines of credit lenders, SBA loan lenders, they look at. And I'm in the trenches with them. I read bank statements, tax returns, cash flow statements, which P&L, balance sheets, debt schedules. I do that all, and I do my own math, and I go over things. So I know very well, and I put people first. It's people over profits for me. I've worked on myself as an entrepreneur in personal development. That matters a lot. The mindset, the mentality, being emotionally controlled, taking care of oneself, taking care of yourself and your family matters most to me. And that you are in the best of hands and best shape going through this. And then on the other tunnel, the clear light. Now you have a better map of what you want to accomplish. Your numbers look better. Your debt has been restructured and or settled. No collateral is needed, so you don't have to worry about any of that, giving up this or reorganization of assets to meet this or liquidating this hard assets into this and da 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 da. Now, if you needed to get rid of merchant cash advances and there was like a commercial real estate building or investment real estate that you own free and clear, could you do an equity injection out of that? Sure, and pay off the advances? Yes, there have been people who do that, but it's not always that simple, and it's likely not the first option, or you don't have that option, or friends and family who can't help, and you want to save that for something else. Does it matter? Does it work when you have X amount of debt, merchant cash advance debt, and you're trying to clear other debt? Like you got to look at the costs to doing that and how much you're going to invest in it. No upfront out-of-pocket fees, and this is what I mean by other companies. You have to be very careful of that. They do not have the right practices. I have the right ones here. I'm not trying to put anybody else down, but I see things. And even if they had the right practices, you're not always getting everything fulfilled correctly. The process wasn't easy and manageable. And you want to be monitored too in terms of how are you keeping up with your payments and do you have an exit plan strategy? Are they helping you with that? You're going to get all of that here and much more. No negative impact to your personal or business credit in many scenarios with the debt restructuring scenario. That's a great thing. And over here on the right-hand side, let me just quickly go over this before I scroll down. Your name, your best email, your phone number, mobile preferred, time in business, years or months. Please specify, don't just put one. To put a month or the M as an abbreviation or Y as an abbreviation for years or however you do that, but please be as specific. Don't rush through it. How much merchant cash advance debt or MCA-like debt do you have? Please let me know in this field how much in total, approximation, maybe you don't have it all in count, but you should understand that. You can look it over, but if you have that very, very, very close approximation and estimate, you can put that there too. But then look over your books. I'm sure you're keeping track of that. And if you're not, that's another thing. And what I always recommend to businesses and business owners and as people is accounting services. A lot of business owners need it. And in this market more than ever. And another thing is not just the accounting services and looking over the books, reporting enough profitability, what you write off, what you don't write off, your P&Ls, you're having that managed correctly. Wouldn't imagine how many people I've tried to help. And it's a matter of the documents and it's a matter of what they don't know. And that truly hurts. And when it comes to a merchant cash advance restructure or a settlement, there's a specific persona and I want to make sure that we're very energy and time efficient in all we do. I don't want to cause friction. I never do. And resistance, uh, like I said, I'm very loyal. With me, you don't have to worry. It's usually the other party. I've been in this long enough as a person first and in business, and I care truly about you and what you're trying to accomplish in yourself, with your family, and in your business. And so I want you to get the very best, but come to this with an open mind. Don't shut yourself down. And what I see be a hinder on many people is it could be I'm not saying this is you at all, but this is what I've seen. And just take this with a grain of salt is the whole business IQ concept. And a lot of business owners get in their own way, not knowing what truly is best for them. They look at the wrong things, they make decisions based on the wrong thing. And that's a crutch already. They've been doing that and it's a pattern for them as a person, as in business? And do they truly know how to budget this correctly, how to look at their numbers like this? Are they preparing? Do they know they need to scale down, even though they don't want to, but they got to do that if they want to better themselves? And that's run revenue stream dropped, cash flow, you have your margins. Sometimes you have to look at that and lower to get to where you want to get to. How much other business debt do you have? So you can list all the total debt, and we're going to try to get into some of the things we can do with other business debt with some specifications. So you can list how much other business debt do you have, but MCA debt is going to be our focus, but there is other debt that can be considered with certain amounts we'll get into here. Total business debt restructuring that you desire to be done. In time, I'll send you a debt restructuring application, and in it, it'll ask you how much total MCA debt, business debt, would you like to have restructured. And you may have a goal, and you say, I have on my books, and I'll ask for a uh, debt restructuring uh, document where I'll ask for all the payments, original payments, and everything you wanted to get restructured. And in that, you might have the most, but in the application, you might state you want to do less, more or less. You might feel like something is coming to maturity. And so to budget more effectively, and you want to have one payment being allocated here to the team, company that's helping you, you might want to have it at this X amount. So you might wait for a few to mature. You don't always have to do that. You can put it all in there too. Depends on what your goals are as well. So how fast do you need to get started? Let me know there so I understand like how bad is this? It's a lot of the time now, ASAP, I see a lot, or right away. I can't wait. Business industry, business name. Please describe in detail your hardship or hardships you and your business is dealing with. How bad is cash flow, plans, etc. Please let me know. The more juice, the more power to you and I, the more efficient we can be. Again, as an entrepreneur, it's all about efficiency. And if you can say what you need to say and take the time to put it through, and I read these things, and I'm very considerate, very heartfelt to me. And like I said, I care about you and your success. We're not even focused on the credit, cash flow, collateral of other types of funding. We're talking about a debt restructure at the moment. The more open you are, the more I can help in being open minded. So here is all that. And as we scroll down here, what is debt restructuring? Are you drowning in MCA or MCA like debt or any other forms of business debt and can't free enough cash flow and continue your ongoing projects without worry and are ready for a team of experts who can help you restructure or settle so you can take back control of your business? Debt restructuring is great when you can't consolidate existing debt with a new loan, or can, but it's not enough or strong, like I said. You don't want a new loan from a reverse debt consolidation. That's way too expensive. If you've heard of those, or if you haven't, that'd be the very last option on top of the debt consolidation, the MCA debt restructure. That'd be the first one. Debt restructuring is usually it, not because most people will just qualify for it, but because it is the best option. And then to move into other things. But you have those, the reverse debt, adding on new debt that you have to now owe could be quite a handful to do. So the restructuring, I would recommend to focus on. There's more details on the others, but those are usually not, those can become more expensive and can be a last resort. You might already be over leveraged to take on new and paying off the lender. It's quite a bit and are having trouble refinancing debt under other services. You need existing debt lowered by an average of 40 to 75 or 50 to 75% plus, depending on your needs and your situation. Every situation is unique, so there will be a custom tailored plan to help you lower things. By attorney led industry experts will restructure your existing debt into more affordable ones. You are eligible if you have at least a minimum of 30,000 in MCA debt and or MCA like debt, i.e. other factored lending products, and or a million in total debt containing other business debt. So remember where I said how much other business debt? We can look at restructuring that if it's a million in total debt containing other business debt like business credit cards, bank loans, tax liabilities, etc. Sometimes we can include business credit card debt in the MCA restructure, but that will negatively impact your credit. If you are in pain, though, you shouldn't really care about that. If right now you're in just so much, like, I need it now, like, it shouldn't matter. You can rebound. No minimum FICO score again, no collateral, no upfront out of pocket fees, no negative impact to your personal or business credit in many keyword scenarios. No new loan, quick and easy application process, customized offer, term sheet, closing call within 24 hours most of the time. And I'll communicate this over time. I'll be in contact. I know what's going on in the back end and all that. So don't worry. I'm very, again, efficient at what I do. I'm a professional. And if you want to deal with somebody who cares as a person, somebody who's taking out merchant cash advances, somebody who's funded his own business, I rely on business credit cards nowadays because I've amounted that. But I've done the personal loans, the personal credit card, 0%, non 0%, 0% interest on the business, non 0%, grants. I've done that. And I've been in these positions and understanding what you should and shouldn't be doing. Aside from MCAs, here's the other debt that we can restructure, determine on a case by case basis, though. Government loans, vendor debt, supplier debt, commercial real estate debt, term loans, lines of credits, all forms of tax debt, debt from business ventures, business credit cards, bank debt, credit union business debt, non bank business debt, equipment loans, any unsecured business debt, any secured business debt. The key benefits of working with myself, with us, with the team, and more details, you get an experienced staff. This is all hassle free on all parties. Process at your fingertips with a team of experts who know what they're doing. I know the team knows what they're doing. You'll be in the best of hands. And again, the process is very silky smooth, so to speak. You're going to be like, dang, I got on with my business and life and still got this done simply. And I got the very best out of it for your situation. And the longer you hold back, just imagine holding back too long. And even just a day, a week goes by, even if the business didn't take the biggest of hit, and now you can't invest into another opportunity, but it's just the thought of it every day consuming you. You get home or you're working at home and I have to put this priority off. I can't go to my kids' events, or I can, but only for a limited time. I can't continue to show up like this to people, to events, Christmas, Thanksgiving, and feel this kind of way. Fast response time and time to approve, 24-hour approvals, customized offer, term sheet, closing call within 24 hours most of the time. And the team is amazing, very supportive, not pushy, not doing things that are in their best interest to only better them. I'm not doing what's in my best interest. I'm doing what's in your best interest. My best interest is here to help you and give you the value that you're getting the very best here and a peace of mind at the end of the day. Certified expertise, attorney led experts, and team at your fingertips who have helped thousands upon thousands and much, much more people. People first, business, character driven. We care more about more than you than just your business. but you as a person and making sure you at your optimal best. And I do truly care. Being still the introverted type, you can probably think I wouldn't be as personable, which can seem the case times. That's just how we are by human nature. It doesn't mean we don't care. As a Libra, if this says anything, one of my biggest weaknesses is that I care too much at times. And I want you to win in more ways than one. Great reduced percentages, 40 to 75% plus, 50 to 75% plus on average debt restructured, and great structure for you to handle your debt more easily. How it works, and there's a little bit of intricacy in here, but very simple. Not much that you will have to like, it's not a hassle at all. Very simple. So you'll enter your information. First, you'll go through the form that I had above. I'll look over things. I can communicate with you on the back end, even on email, and share with you more if I had to. And then show you the document again if you haven't seen it or if you already have it. It's just a reminder. Here's what's needed, give you a little bit more. And then when you're ready, you can respond back and let me know, yeah, can you send over the documents? And I'll send over all the documents over to you and the debt restructuring application, the payments and listing everything on the debt schedule, the forecast of where you will be in time, implementation, and the income projection. So it's very simple. And then I'll ask for certain documents or certain ways of collecting. Step three, moving forward, excuse me, step two, we review your submission. And step three, moving forward. Step four, the payment analyst walkthrough. Step five, e-sign. Step six, done. And so you'll see that here. You can pause it and come back to it, but over time I can share with you more if so. But reviewing your submission, making sure everything is done correctly, and what are the steps there to move forward. Reach out to you if everything looks good on paper with myself and the team that we looked at. And now I can schedule a one-on-one call with the principal of ours, and you'll have about a 20-minute conversation. Great guy, very simple, it's hassle-free, but it's pre-scheduled, so make sure you're available and you're there at the time that you need to make it. And very hassle-free again. And once it's completed, we'll let you know what the next steps are from there. Step four, and I'll let you know that. Payment analyst walkthrough, scheduling that if it wasn't already scheduled, then you'll be able to go over that with them. They'll come up with the custom tailored plan that they have and everything that you have questions for. Step five, e-sign, you'll have your contract and everything laid out on how you can move forward. Step six, done. You'll know how to move forward in your debt restructure and all the expectations of making timely payments. And one thing you have to be cautious of is just changing processors. A lot of business owners come to me where they have processor issues on the platform they're on. One of them commonly can be Shopify. There are others out there, and they're trying to change because they're restricted and they can't be protected all the time with the legal team because of their legalities and fulfillment that they need to make on their contract. So be careful of certain platforms. Not saying you don't have to use them, but taking on too much MCA debt and now having to do that, sometimes all the debt makes it harder to be lowered. So there's different circumstances and changing processors before everything. Go through it with the payment analyst. You should be given more information. Don't start changing and moving everything around and then find out that it wouldn't work for you, wouldn't be protected. So there's more to this, but make sure you go through that. You want to get on that payment analyst call and they have everything done for you. It's very simple to move forward from there. If you have any questions, I can help, and also them you can refer to and much more. So get your debt restructured even settled fast. Just some of the funding results. I have many more, but you see that on your screen. About us, uh, you can see there with Viral Funding Solutions and how I can connect you to the association and having the best option and the debt restructuring side. It's your money. Go ahead and clear your debt before it's too late. It's a very popular program. It's what's most used, and you don't want to fall behind. Look at what's happened with the idle funding, the PPP funds. They come and they go. The ERC tax credit, that too. Grant opportunities, other funding opportunities you're missing out on with somebody in your competition, your competitors are taking advantage of in your area. They're taking on your clients. They're earning an extra 1,000 to 2,000 in their pocket a day, 300 to 500. Even if that didn't matter, you're losing your competitive edge and your advantage to show up in front of enough people to be the authority in your space. And there's so much more. And you can put the cash flow you need to work for in your business, have more profitability, have more breathing room at the end of the day in your account and accounts and how you need to use it. And I say here, there are bad programs out there, especially in the debt consolidation space, like I said in the beginning. So be careful of where you go. And this is the very best that you're going to get here. And I vetted a lot of this. So about myself, I already gave you a little bit earlier, but I started like every and any 9 to 5 employee many, many years ago in my younger 20s. And I was in a financial logistics company for a huge contracting company servicing HP and P cell, many other vendors and other in the facility. And I was doing inventory management and control, working with shipping and receiving coordination with the truckers. I was doing a lot of data analysis, budgeting, and ordering on the computers, lifting up media boxes to take to HP, Peace Health, and a few others. I knew a lot of people there, had friends. I was underpaid, undervalued, you could say. And I stayed in there for a lot of stability reasons, post academics, when I had gone back to school. And I was studying at the time chemical engineering, and then I got into business because I wanted to start a business. It didn't happen immediately. I worked in the warehousing, ramp agent. I kid you not, in my younger 20s, I had to do these things momentarily, and not everything is linear. I was in construction and doing field stuff, hands on in the shop. I was in manufacturing in the production line for an aerospace company, the Headerman. Those were tough times, and the environment, you can only imagine. I moved into the blueprint room, eventually moving my way and getting to cast dyeing, moldings, blueprint readings, inventory stuff, and control different departments, working with engineers. And yeah, just did a lot of things. And not because I was unstable, but because I was figuring new things out. Company goes down under for the financial logistics company. 50 plus people relieved. Fortunately, I was one of them. I had to go back on unemployment benefits and food stamp cards. And that was a very hard time. Going to the grocery store just to pay with my EBT card was the hardest thing ever. Being an introvert, it's not only that, but I couldn't even look the person in the eyes when I was paying. I felt that embarrassed. I had to pre-program my mind before going to the register, and I felt so embarrassed that if there was anybody behind me, I would go find the line where nobody was there. And even if I had no choice, of feeling like they were looking over my shoulder and only what I was ordering, what else I couldn't order, even if I had a savings, like not even wanting to use it. Going out for a meal with family, they wouldn't tell you I was a burden. I felt that way. I have my younger brother, my family at that time that we all would, we still do always go out and get food or just get together as family and order in, or even paying 50% of it. I didn't even want to raise my hand, like, or just say a word, or just kept to myself. And other times that I did rise up, it felt hard. I knew I could make the payments. Other times I couldn't. And I just didn't want to continue to feel that way. And I know I needed to make a change. So at that time, I had the luxury when before the company went down under and before I went into a transition and then down under, I was already preparing in the cubicle space and did quite a bit. Very thankful and grateful. And I've never been the most genetically gifted athletic person. I played Division One soccer in one of the hardest positions in the center midfield, but I've never been genetically gifted. I've always been given the heart, and I've outworked. You could say the word outsmarted and outworked. And the mindset, I just further progressed that, especially when I got into business, especially the online space and building my businesses. So I started building a digital marketing agency, lead generation business, and that began my journey. And the affiliate space, I didn't even earn in that one until like the 11th month. And one of those businesses, my first 8 cents and through Amazon. Could I have done it sooner if I changed the strategy? Perhaps, but I was learning a lot in the process. So I've delayed instant gratification. I've become more patient, more wise over my many years and through what I've gone to already in my young life. My family would say I'm like an old man already at my age. I don't try to act like one, but they tell me walk around like an old man or like act your manner like a 70-year-old, like wisdom. And I say thank you. I'm very grateful, thankful. I don't want that kind of like I received the recognition. Thank you. But I'm very grateful and thankful. I treat this like it was my very first day with the knowledge I have, but I'm going to take care of you. And I want you to win. I have a passion. I have my values, my vision, my mission in life as a person. I want you to succeed as a person and in many more ways and in a business. People first. And going through the struggles of myself trying to find the right source and the right partnership and roadmap was the challenge. Eventually, I did find my way, and that's kind of been my journey. And you can see a little bit more. And if you needed funding in the future, I have a very strategic, I have a very processed way of doing this, systematized process. And when it matters, not always will you have this, but automation, not always, but I have a process where I can review what you submit through a form and give you a very highly personalized and customized email response with a PDF showing you your best funding option and options like nobody else's business. Information not even being displayed online. So when you're ready to get started, fill out the form, go through that, or maybe it takes you to another page to check that out. And I will take care of you. And if there's more on that field that needs to be submitted, if I change things, you'll see it. So you can see here kind of more or less what I've already gone through. So 50, 40, 75% plus. To give you an idea of what can be done, I will need you to fill out a debt restructuring application, a business debt schedule, which I can send you in time. You don't have to worry about it right this second. You can do this via email too. Very simple for you. And it's stress free. I'll try to leave my story down below too as a person. So if you want to learn more, you can also learn more about me. To be sure, in almost all instances, we can reduce short-term pay repayments and get the face value of the MCA debt reduced by more than 25% on average net of all fees. This is an over 90% approval rate. So when people ask me, is this guaranteed? Are you guaranteed to breathe another millisecond? How about another second, minute, hour, day, week, month, year? We're not guaranteed anything in life, but we can guarantee our actions and how we display our attitude and our effort that govern our actions. So that we can put in place. But like anything else, nothing is ever guaranteed. The odds could be stacked in your favor or lowered. Usually here, as you see, 90% approval rate stacked in your favor. So we also need your contracts you sign usually via DocuSign. They have a legalese in them that the legal team will use to reverse engineer an escape hatch for you, potentially. Every time they all work, 100% are successful. And if you do what you're supposed to do, don't deviate from the path. I'm here to help you. Understand, I want your best interest at heart to be helped. I want this for you to be the best. And you can only want it the most out of everybody. But when it's presented to you correctly and everything, making that right decision, and most people continue with it. Simple yes or no. When you get into maybe and contradicting things, why are you? Do you have a plan B? Most people don't if I ask them that. Sometimes they take it the wrong way because they're fed up with what they're getting. And it's not that what they're getting is bad. It's not predatory. So your MCAs are not what you did to get them or how you use them. Did you use them effectively? Did you not? Did you just not know any better? And now you're learning. So just understanding that, and you're in the best of hands. Use for extending and bettering your repayment period. You're reducing having a reduction of your balance, reducing the interest that you have, changing what is considered a past due status to a current one by combining the balance or balances. Again, no minimum FICO as going through here. And I just put in here like what it would take for the other options if you could meet them or to get a bank term loan already instead of a debt restructure. But a lot of times debt restructuring is the first point. 30,000 in total MCA debt again, is the minimum that is looked at, and you're going to see that kind of across the board. Be careful if it's anything too less. Uh, it just doesn't make sense in all cases, all parties to try to help restructure or settle the ROI, and then just the escape hatch. It's just too much work always too to do that, and sometimes it just doesn't work. Things coming to maturity, it's just too less to do that. There's a lot of other scenarios. So MCA like that, other factored loan products like Blue Vine, On Deck, Fundbox, Headway, etc. So that's what I mean by MCA. If you have other business debt, like I said, covered that earlier. All this already was covered. Just some examples right there you see on your screen. There are many others. I just put a handful of them here, and I'll cover a little bit more on the term. You see here the total debt enrolled, payment terms, payment amount, first payment scheduled for, debt. So that can vary the first payment scheduled for, and you'll have a lot more details on this, but it's sooner rather than later. So the plans are customized depending on your scenario. The shortest in terms you'll likely see and get is 6 months. Now, that's the shortest term, although that's a rare occurrence. And lately, what we've been seeing quite a bit come in is 78 weeks, 1.5 or so years. The reason they are customized is that your bank statements are used to assess the cash flow and then work with the merchant, who is you, to reverse engineer, when I said earlier, the escape hatch and all that, and have a right plan, a payment, a number, an amount, and frequency of that amount that you are okay with and that your MCA lender or lenders will accept. So the renegotiation, the negotiation on your part with the team that goes on your behalf to battle and work for you and sweat for you. The 78-week reference below is common to see, 1.5 years. There have been a few done that go out 36 to 48 months. So 3 or 4 years or so, although these are much larger and much more complicated files. It happens, but it's rare to go out that long. So don't just expect 3 to 4 years. Now you have an understanding this can be 6 to 1.5 or so years. And that's not, when in the debt restructuring space, you can think of that being short, but it really isn't with the payment that you have and everything else that's been reduced and what you're giving back. It's a lot better than the alternative of not doing it and just falling behind, going bankrupt, and not getting what you wanted and losing your reputation. Maybe you wanted to give away your business to somebody else, a partner or someone else. How will they look at you? You didn't make that decision. Were you the real majority owner? Were you the real decision maker in your business, but the other person makes them better? Like, be as energy and time efficient in this, and just imagine yourself losing out on this, going to the opposite, always searching for something else that doesn't exist, and you're going to get worse. And they don't work for you. Something happens in between the process where they expect something else of you. You got to go pay something. Oh man, now you found yourself in the bind that you shouldn't be in. Note one, you'll be taken care of and looked after in the best way possible from me and the team. I 110% promise you. And like I said earlier, if this goes to anything, I'm an entrepreneur myself with multiple businesses that are my babies, and I get you when it comes to business and as people. These MCAs, other types of funding, and as a person, you matter as you're not a number, people over profits. Note two, and like I said earlier, avoid these companies and other scenarios, these other companies, not this one that I'm trying to help you with, and the options that you can get. You can even get for your specific situation if we pull from two to three and we see the best one or just one in total. That's the best way to look at it too. So you're getting optimally the best and fighting for you and getting the best. Well, you need to be careful of are other companies that don't work well. Their specialty law firm to attorney led team that you'll find, or they don't have all that in place and not the best, are not that strong. Others don't help precisely give you the right plan and amount. You'll see others trying to reorganize your debt by assets and dissolving the company, which you regularly don't need to do. Other companies tell you that you need to stop payments so you can go into a default on a merchant cash advance or advances. We do not do that. That does not happen here. So if you have any doubt, we do not stop. We don't do that. We don't cause you that default. That's not how this does and how this goes with this. So be careful of companies who do this to you, not here with me. So for debt relief, there are other companies out there you have to be very careful and about because what they do is will ask you to go into default on your loans and open up a new bank account at a different bank. This can be a huge nightmare to the business owner, and getting approved for an MCA ever will be hard, let alone other options. And that's just a start. It's such a complex issue. We don't do that here. There are also other companies out there in the debt restructuring space that I said earlier that are in the reorganization, as I said before, of debt by a controlled sale of business assets. Where that sometimes makes sense is if you're close to a bankruptcy and that needs to be saved, but that's not even how I would always use it either. The debt restructuring way and this way, how it's done, is very helpful. Then there are those others that I won't say names, but speak to the behavior. I hear are breaking laws by cold calling people on a do not call list, and others that are not strong in just general. What I have though is legit, and I believe the very best in the debt restructuring, debt settlement, debt relief, trying to help you then get into other spaces. With the debt restructuring, it will allow you to make payments in a way that works for you and your debitors, creditors. It's renegotiating the terms of your MCA debt to make it more manageable. It can involve extending the repayment period, reducing the interest rate, or negotiating a lower overall total debt amount or debt amount. By doing this, it helps you avoid a default and potential facing bankruptcy. If you've already gone into default, there's things there that we can look at to try to help. Documents needed. And I'll share this again with you in time. Debt restructuring application, I can send to you later. Debt restructuring business debt schedule, income projection form, copy of all signed funding contracts. I won't go through every little detail here, but you'll see this over time likely. Important, if you can't locate the contracts, and I share with you what you don't want to be doing, all of that is in there. So please go through it and you'll see what you do not want to do to have this. Because the antenna up for calling your MCA companies to collect this, you don't want to do it that way. And how all that is in there. Please go to Experian and download your free credit report, your full credit report. You'll see all that here. Business bank statements, what you'll see there, your driver's license, and what's expected there. Once this is all collected, I, myself, the team can review and then get back to you fast to let you know what the next steps are, which would then be a scheduled appointment, likely, or something else that I would have to go back to you and ask, or if we already covered that, usually I will, then we do a few other things. And we want to alleviate your financial pain as quickly as possible. Remember, over 90% of these files get approved. And if interested, there you see that. And again, if you see this page, you can click right here and it should open up a new tab. And if you don't see that right away or it's moved, I'll share it with you in time. But don't get distracted by everything else. Fill out this form here. Save it, bookmark it if you need to come back to later to fill it out. But again, I reassure you, you're getting the very best and everything that I've already explained. And there could be more that I share with you as well. So hopefully you got value from this video. If you did, I greatly appreciate you giving it a thumbs up and sharing it with others. It can be friends, family, a complete stranger, somebody who had help now because they understood what to do with their MCA debt and other kind of business debt. That they weren't falling into the predatory hands of others or continuing to take MCAs and at the wrong time for the wrong reasons. Or if it was for the right reasons, it doesn't work as well. It's not as stable. And if you have not subscribed, I greatly appreciate you doing so and clicking the bell notification icon so you do not miss any future content I'll be coming out with. And again, this information will be down below in the description, my email, but start with this, should be one of the very first links, or it takes you to the previous page that we saw before to then get here, or however if things are changed over time. But I can share with you more as well. And just be certain and you are going to get the very best from me and the team. Thank you for tuning in, and talk to you on the next one. Take care.